These ads have added 8,700 new members to my free Skool community and have helped me generate over $1.5 million. And I'm about to show you exactly how I did it without spending hours in the DMs, without sales calls, and most importantly, without losing money on ads that didn't work. And so in this video, I'm going to break down the entire system, the campaign, the targeting, the exact offer stack that makes it profitable, and this new Skool feature that changes everything. And so by the end of this video, you're going to have the complete blueprint so you can just copy and put it into your own business. And now this is specifically going to work or be relevant for you if you have run ads before and they haven't worked, or you've lost money. If you are currently running the Instagram DM me or follow me ads and you're drowning in DMs with unqualified leads, or maybe you are actually profitable, you're making money, but you feel like you start from zero every month because you have no recurring revenue. This is going to be relevant for you. And maybe you're like new to Skool or you don't have a Skool community, and this video might be the one that finally convinces you to get one. Because what I'm going to share with you isn't just another ad strategy. This is a complete business model shift that makes paid advertising actually work for coaches and creatives. And the new Skool tiers feature is a total game changer. And so let me just start with a little story, because 5 years ago, I was running my business organically on Facebook and they shut me down. I made one mildly controversial post during COVID and they shut my account down, and I had to make a quick pivot. And so I moved over to Instagram. I decided I was going to run ads, and around that time I found Skool. And so I started a free Skool community and Instagram ads. And if you fast forward 5 years, I've been doing the same thing, and that decision has helped us win the Skool Games 3 times, build a 7-figure community, and have 8,700 awesome people where I get to spend most of my time just in my community. And then in the last 2 months, there's been these 2 massive updates that make this strategy perfect right now. And the first is the Andromeda updates with Meta, which has made advertising easier than ever. And then the second is Skool has rolled out their tiers feature, which allows for a freemium model. And then secondly, the analytics that is on Skool is amazing. So the transparency is awesome. And this also mirrors perfectly with the money models in Hormozi's book. And so I'm going to dive in. I'm going to share you exactly what's working and how you can copy this into your business. So let's dive in. All right, so like I said, I have been running a version of this strategy for the last 5 years. However, after reading Alex Hormozi's book, Money Models, it gave me a new insight into a different way of actually growing the business model. And so what I want to do in this video is I want to talk about the money models. I want to talk about the offers that we created in order to run this play. I want to talk about the result. So here's like what happened. And then I'm going to share with you like how we did it and how you can do it too. And I'm also going to give you my thoughts about when is the right time to do this, because one of the most important things I see a lot of people get burned on is doing 7-figure strategies when you are just starting. And so I also want to give some context around like what I think is the right time to do what strategy. Okay. And so basically $100 million money models is talking about there are different offers that if you get these correct, you can really scale your business. And so there is the attract, and then there is the continuity, and then there's an upsell, and then there's a downsell. And in the online coaching space and consulting space, you know, if you're a course creator, my thoughts on this, or like how we have done it anyway, has been this. The big idea that I've always had is start with the most expensive thing that gives the highest value and is most likely able to get the best result for somebody. And typically this is not scalable, and it's one-on-one, and it's done for you. And it's like, you're actually gonna do work. I think a lot of people are trying to like scale when they haven't even developed like a really good offer or product yet. And so to me, it just made sense to start with that. And then the second thing is, in the beginning, I didn't even know what people wanted help with or what my unique offer was. And so the best, again, in my opinion, way to start was to start with a free community. And that's what we did. We did that 5 years ago. And I think I have a like day we joined Skool, like a timestamp. All right. And so we have been running a free community for a long time. And in that, we learned a whole bunch about the people that we wanted to serve. And then once we found the problems, and this actually helped us develop an offer that people, Hormozi says, create an offer so good people would feel stupid saying no to. But what about an offer so good people would feel stupid leaving? right? Because they kept getting value. And that's always been our idea. And we've had clients work with us for years, right? And it's because we can continue to get them results and we develop really good relationships with people. All right. So this is what we have done since forever. Free community, and then like a high ticket offer that delivered a great experience. And then we've messed around with stuff in the middle, but any time that we made it more complicated than this, things broke. Okay. And so in the beginning, this works really good. You don't need to make it any more complicated. And the reason, like what I've since realized, is that as you're working with people one-to-one, you're realizing like this is the same conversation I'm having over and over again. And I could do this faster. I could do this better. I could create this into a course. I could create a resource. I could create a spreadsheet. I could make this faster, better, easier for people to actually get the result. And you start building assets. And this is what it looks like to build down, because you're building things. And then as you build down, that is when you can actually scale up. And so what I'm talking about here today is like we've been doing this for years, right? And we've built a business that does between $50,000 and $100,000 a month just doing this. And we have assets and we have resources. We have things that like allow us to now scale. And so now that's what I'm going to share with you here, because after 30 days with this new feature release, and like we're kind of starting from scratch in the sense of like what we're building from here. And so I'll share with you, because at this point, now we can add these other two offers. And so what we did in the new feature is Skool has just released tiers, meaning we can now run a freemium offer, meaning we can have one community and we can have different tiers. So you can come in for free and then you can upgrade to $100 a month, or you can get our VIP accelerator and you can get done in 100 days what would normally take you, maybe years or maybe never. And so we've been waiting for this feature to come out for a while. It's super exciting. And we've tested it for 30 days and the initial results are kind of cool. And so that's exactly what we did, is we created this. We had a free community with an upgrade, and this in itself kind of has an upsell because you can purchase annually, right? So $1,000 a year or $100 a month. And then the second thing that we created, or like the VIP tier, is an accelerator where you can actually join for $3,000 for the year, and you'll get 100 days of like accelerated support done with you, hands-on, like let's actually get you the results faster. And it's $1,000 a month for 4 months or $3,000 for the year. Okay, so this was, I'm not going to talk about this one for now because that's already running, and all of the numbers and things that I'm talking about in here, it doesn't include what we already have existing, because this is like a new community. All right, so this is our freemium model. And next I'll just share with you, like, here's the results, here's behind the scenes, because now Skool has this transparent analytics, like no BS. You can just see exactly what it is, and they're really awesome. And so this is a cool feature. So we have 8,700 people in our community now. We added 1,500 people into this community over the last 30 days. We added $8,000 in new monthly recurring revenue. We have a 17% conversion rate on our About page, and we've only been doing it for 1 month, so nobody's left yet. Okay, so that is like top line numbers. We spent $9,000 in ads in the last 30 days, and we made $12,000. You're like, wow, Dan, cool. You made $3,000 or $3,500. But this is actually huge because we made this in 30 days, not selling high ticket product. It was selling the tiers, right? And so what that breakdown actually looks like is 62 members at $100 a month, and then $6,000 in annual payments. And I think there was one VIP. Okay. So, but what that means is our ratio is 1.38, meaning we spent $9,000. I didn't do this strategy to try and make a ton of money. I did this to test a hypothesis. Could we be profitable in the first 30 days with a low ticket tier running ads? And we were. And so this is kind of a big deal. 1,500 new leads. We made money on this in the first 30 days. And there's something really cool that I'm going to share with you next. But that's the result. All right. And so what that means is, like, here's what this means, right? The constraint that I have now at this point is how much can I spend on ads? Assuming that this prolongs month after month, but it's a pretty good initial data. All right. Because if I'm going to make money on the front end with my ads in the first 30 days, then I can just keep spending more money on ads. I'm not going to go into like all of the math on that, but just, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So now let's talk about the strategy, like how did we do that? And so first of all, you have the ads, right? So what are the ads? Well, we ran 50% of the ads are like, hey, we have this awesome community for people like you. So if you're a spiritual business coach, that's like our ideal people who are business people, but they also are operating with a bigger perspective on life and they're up to a bigger game than just making money. And so we ran ads that are like, hey, if you're like this, you might like our community. And then we also have a 5-day challenge. And so we did reels and we mixed those two ads. So static ads, super simple, and then reels. And then we did 50% towards our challenge and 50% towards like, hey, we have this cool community. Okay, so that pretty simple. And what I will say about the meta ads is with the Andromeda updates is it's literally so simple. We didn't do any targeting. So broad targeting, Advantage Plus, everything. We just let Meta figure it all out. We have one campaign and all we did was give it enough creatives, and we didn't even turn any ads off. We just let it do its thing. And if you want to learn more about it, take our 5-day challenge, because we talk about it in detail, like how to run ads to Skool specifically. Okay, so that is the challenge and that's the strategy. And so you go with the ads directly to the about page. So no funnels. Amazing. It's just directly to the about page, which is converting at 17%. And actually, here's the data on this because you can see the analytics with the new Skool features. So cool thing here, we get about 266. This is showing this date here. So you can see, we get about 266 people a day. So I think last month we had about 13,000 people land on our about page and nearly 20% of them opted in, which is great. But the funnel is super simple. Come in to our community. That's it. No complicated funnels, no crazy upsells, bumps, or no low ticket weirdness. I'm not smart enough to run those campaigns, to be honest. Okay. And so we just drive people into the free community like we always have. And then what happens is we have our free content. So we have 3 things. Our community name, by the way, is like Lifestyle Founder Group or LFG. Let's fucking go. We have little Easter eggs like our 3 free things that we give is a launch pad, a free challenge, and gems or LFG. And this is the content that we want to drive people to watch. Here's another thing that I recently learned. I used to play the long game with ads anyway. I was like, hey, if I just spend money on ads, put my stuff in front of people, over time they'll get to know, like, and trust me. I don't need to make the money in 30 days. And that served me really well, because we had a high ticket offer and it was fine. But then what I realized is it's not about the length of time. It might take people a year to work with us, but actually what it is, it's not that time. It's the amount of time that they spend with you consuming your content. And so that was like a shift. Somebody might spend an hour with me over a year, or somebody can spend an hour with me in 7 days. And so if I can orient the system to help people spend more time with me, then they will become clients faster. That was the thinking anyway. And so that's the way that we've set up the free community. This is all free. And every opportunity that there is, everywhere around our free community, in all of our content, there's just one link and it goes one spot and it says, hey, do you want to learn more about working with us? And then it goes into basically a video sales letter. It's a training that shows people our system and how we've built our 7-figure Skool engine, right? And that's that. That's the funnel. That's the whole strategy. And so I'm going to share this with you. So this is the lower the ticket, the lower the price of the thing that you are selling, typically the better you have to be. All right. The more it takes to be profitable. And so this piece here, how we were thinking about it is we drive people to our about page. We have 2 systems. We have our Backpack, which is our software, and then we have Scoot, which is a CRM. They're both 2 kind of like CRMs. So Scoot works directly in Skool, and it sends people messaging. We also retarget ads. Once people land on this page, Meta is retargeting them. So they're seeing more of our content. All right. And then the Backpack is sending messages and is sending emails. And all they're trying to do is capture people's attention to consume some of our free stuff. Okay. That's what's happening in the first initial phase. And then they're going to the training page. and then they are upgrading. And like last month, we had 62 people upgrade. And so then they ended up on this page in Skool, super simple. They're like, hey, do you want to upgrade? And do you want to save a little bit of money and just pay for the year? So 62 people bought this and 3 people bought that. Cool, really cool. Here's the thing though, like a lot of people, actually most of these, I would say more than half of them, like people need a reason to buy. And so the thing with the free community is it's kind of like, yeah, they come in and like there's no urgency and there's nothing that like, yeah, I can just get this anytime. And so one of the things that is included, you will notice, is I love running paid workshops anyway. So I run paid workshops for $100. Usually I'm inviting people into a workshop that I'm doing for my paying clients, but I've done this strategy all last year. It works really great. It's easy to run. And so what we did is we just included this in our $100 a month tier. And so it's something that I'm already doing anyway. And it's something really like anybody can do. If you're a teacher, if you're a course creator and you do workshops or you like to build your business with workshops, you could create a tier, whatever you charge for your workshops, and just say every month, you like instead of purchasing them, you can just get them for free every month. So, and then plus you get all of the other things that we offer. Okay. So this felt easy for me because it's something that we're already doing. But then with the tiers feature, when you have a workshop in Skool, it's blocked unless you become a premium member. So I'm just promoting the workshop that we're doing and people are like, oh, I got to unlock with premium. And so they're like, I want to come to this workshop, and we actually ended up getting 50% of the sales came right before this workshop. Okay. Now here's where it gets really cool is once a month we run a paid workshop and then we open up the VIP tier for 5 days. So it's like an open close opportunity. Okay. And what that looks like is in the back end, right? We have the freemium model. This is normally off, but on the back of the workshop, we turn it on and we say, hey, we're open for our accelerator. And this opens up on the page and we have people raise their hand. Hey, I'm interested. Actually, I could show you something. So I did a post in our free community and I said, hey, the accelerator is open, and we had a ton of interest. These aren't all interested, like we're responding, our team is responding, we're talking to people in here, but there was about 60 or 70 people who raised their hand. Amazing that they wanted the details. And so that was how we started the conversation. And so I share all this because, it's like, cool story, Dan, but what does it all mean? Like, what does it mean? Well, it means this, right? I shared this screen before. And what happened was we spent $9,000. We made 12 in low ticket sales, but these are recurring sales, right? You get that. It's not, we didn't just make 3,500 because depending on how many people stick around or how long, if nobody leaves, then that means that we will make this money every single month. So this is potentially a huge unlock, okay? And if everybody left, it was still a good deal, right? Like that's the crazy part. But actually, that's not even the real crazy part because today is December 5th at the time of recording this. And here's what happened. Like you might notice that this is December. I haven't even talked about this yet. But 5 days into December, we've already made more money than we made in all of November because of people who purchased the accelerator. And so if that is true, then our gross profit in 30 days is something more like 3x. And this doesn't include people joining our higher ticket offers. And this one campaign, this also doesn't include the 1,500 people who came in last month who might purchase over the next 6 months by being in our community. So like this seems so crazy to me. And I actually went into, so like in the Skoolers community, right? There is this amazing resource, $100 million money models. And Hormozi's talking about client financed acquisition. That's really what this is. Okay. And he talks about level 1 is if you can, the total amount that it costs you to get the client is the total amount that you make. Like basically this is like level 1 and it's not awesome because you can't really scale there. Level 2 is your gross profit is greater than the cost to acquire in 30 days. And level 3 is your gross profit is 2 times more than the cost to get a client in 30 days. And we're sitting somewhere between 1.3 and 3. And these are sweet spots because this allows you to actually scale. And this is only 30 days in. And so I am excited to like see what happens next. But this is essentially, just to recap, we started and for years we've run free community and a high ticket offer. And then we have built this business model to a spot where it can do $50,000 to $100,000 a month. It's great. And we did that with just like one-on-one and then group also, and then free community. And now with tiers, the new feature in Skool, we've added a $100 a month option, which is basically, in a simple way, it's just like the workshops, but in a monthly commitment kind of way, plus. And then a 90-day or a 100-day accelerator. And this allows us to be way more profitable with our ads in the first 30 days, which ultimately gives us exponential scale, assuming that these numbers continue. And so I will just share as, the results come in, but this seems pretty cool to me. And this is the model that we run. This is behind the scenes of like what actually makes it work, which is for ourselves and for our clients. It's always about getting clarity about what is the future projection, what is the core problem that you solve. Can you say it in a bold promise? And then do you have a product that takes people from A to B in a streamlined way? And if you have those foundations, then it becomes about, can you attract people? And we do this with ads, but there's other methods of traffic, but we just are lazy. Just joking, but we just prefer ads. The next stage is nurture. And so we nurture people in our free Skool community. So this is all nurture. And then we convert, and we convert with a small video training and an application. And then we set, sell, and close. We do this all through chat. So this is the convert. And then we keep our clients because we focus on relationship and we focus on results. And as a result, we have clients who stay with us for years. And so this is deliver. And this is, our Skool engine. And this is what is behind the scenes of like what's actually making all of this work. And so in short, I think the tiers feature is epic and initial 30-day results are great. I think the Andromeda changes make advertising super easy. I think the fact there with Skool, you don't have to there's no funnels. It's one page outside of Skool, but everything is just directly into Skool. Other benefits are like I spend almost zero time on social media because we run ads and people come into our community and I'm just spending my time in there. And yeah. And so anyways, I share this with you. This is the strategy. This is the system. This is what we're doing right now. This is how we're scaling. And I hope it's useful. Let me know what you like, what you learn. If this is on YouTube, you can subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Peace.